What it do, what it is, what it ain't. Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Get Right Podcast. Don't forget to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to get notifications of new content. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you dig? Cue the music. Yo, what it do, what it is, what it ain't. It's your boy T, and this the Get Right Podcast season finale. Don't worry, we ain't going nowhere too long, but we appreciate you always kicking it with us. And as always, I'm never rolling solo. I always got my dogs kicking it with me. So I got the brain trust as always. The reason why we here from, I'm always saying, man, Clubhouse. We was having crazy dialogue from the Clubhouse, and now we 4 seasons in. Thanks to the brain trust, man. Rod, give us them 3 words, bruh.
What up, though?
All day, and of course, to people they love to hate to love, all of that, Mr. Misconception. Season 4 finale, bro. What's good? DC.
It's your boy DC in the place to be for the season 4 finale. Hey, shout out to the 80s, baby.
That was definitely an 80s bar. Man.
Little freestyle, little 80s freestyle, man. You know, a little Kurt,
Oh,
my inner
man.
Curtis Blow.
Hey, and I just want to give a quick shout out to Ace of Base, who made the song "The Sign."
Yeah,
I saw the sign. Go Blue. That's it.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say what? Like,
I was gonna say, where are we going with this?
Yeah, where are we going with this?
All these folks want to talk about us stealing signs and all that.
Oh,
We don't need.
okay,
We don't need to
okay.
do that. We don't need to do that. We come out and whoop ass, and that's what we do. Don't hate on us because we whooping ass. Like it ain't like we do this for at all times. So just appreciate it.
appreciate
Bro,
the
that,
moments, man.
you brought that full circle because I was like, yo, what is he talking about? But,
I was about to hit him with his own line. Elaborate, my good brother. We need to know, bro. But definitely, man, it was a great weekend, man. I know Rod was happy. Hey, man, the Tide was BSing for the first quarter, and they got it together, man. But that Michigan State game, that was a whitewash. That was a whitewash. It was a good weekend, man. And shout out to the homie Donald. I know he listens to the show, man, and he had us over at a bourbon bash. It's the weekend at Donald's, man. It was fun, bro. It was good fellowship, good brothership. DC, it was finally good to get you in the basement, bro. Like down there to see, aka we call it the boom boom room. But
and that room was booming, bro.
bro, it was a good experience, man. Good fellowship, man. I'm not a bourbon or whiskey guy, but it was just good being around the vibes, man. It was a lot of fun, man. But DC, how you enjoyed it, bro?
Oh man, it was amazing, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because linked up with Dawn one time, maybe a couple months ago. We had a little co-ed, I guess 6 of us plus a couple other couples. And man, what's wild is
my wife's birthday. Yeah,
that's right. Your wife's birthday. That's right. And I'm a whiskey guy, man. And I'll say I thought that I was something of an expert when it came to the whiskey. And I met Don and I realized, man, like I did not know nearly as much as I thought, you know what I'm saying? And so it was just kind of cool being a part of that experience, man. And we ended up having that conversation. And of course, fast forward to last night, this man had about, I don't know, man, maybe 200 bottles, if not more. I mean, I wasn't really counting, but it was an insane collection that the guy had. And not only did he have the collection, just the way he spoke about it, bro. Like, it's one thing to like have bottles of, yeah, I got this here and I got that. But to talk about, oh, this has notes of this and hints of that. And I'm getting, it was put in this barrel for this long, and bro, he throwing out numbers. I don't halfway know what he's talking about. And
hey, was all those formulas just floating around your head like you see on TV when he's talking to you?
Yeah, pretty much.
That
man.
Beautiful mind moment.
Yeah, definitely beautiful mind moment. That's a fact, bro. But it was dope as hell, man. And just kicking it with everybody. So definitely appreciate that invite. Actually got a second invite to another I guess, I don't know, tasting event, I think in a couple of months, man. So I'm gonna be back up the road.
Yeah, and the
You know?
crazy thing about the dude that invited, I can't remember his name. I apologize, but he sounded like he was even more of an expert than Don was, and I didn't know it was that many levels until last year because obviously I don't really drink like that, and I'm definitely not a bourbon guy. I just went for the fellowship, but like the way they were talking, I was like, yeah, this is not the conversation for me, bro.
Bro,
Yeah.
same. Because Don looked at me when I got there. I'm you know me, bro. I'm the mayor, bro. I'm gonna shake hands. I'm gonna dap everybody up, say what's up, introduce myself. So I stopped and I was seeing, just everyone talk about like this. They tasting everything. DC had a little batch put on the table as
Oh,
a
that's right.
gift,
Yeah, I had my little
and
my
everybody
little
they
blend.
just talking. And so Don looked at me like, "You good?" And I'm like, "Bro, I feel like I'm just at a tennis match." And I'm
Mhm.
just watching. I understand the game, but I can't play it. I ain't good at it. And
Yeah.
so I'm watching it, and I'm just I see the greatness of how y'all talking about it. So I'm just gonna be a spectator, bro. But
It
I
is-
said that's how I felt. I was like, I'm just watching tennis. I'm watching y'all go back and forth about, oh, but the hint of this, but yeah, did you?
yeah,
And Don was like,
that's crazy, bro.
you good, T? And I'm like, bro, I'm just watching, bro. I'm
Hey,
just watching greatness.
sit me in front of the TV because I heard my man say something like, "Yeah, this was made with a certain type of grass root." I'm like, bro, I don't even know what that means, man. I don't know what to do with my hands. I felt like Ricky Bobby for a minute. I don't know what to do with my hands, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Shout out Don because he saved me because he seen me like I'm just looking and I know my body language like, bro, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about, but he saw it though and he was like, "Hey T, it's all good, bro. I got waters and stuff in the cooler over here."
I tell you
Yeah.
what though, like social events like that in particular, we talked about this, and T, you gonna have to go back to the season because DC or I don't know,
Not at
but
all.
we talked about networking right back in one of these seasons.
Season 1.
See, I know you know, bro.
Yeah,
So
season 1.
told you. You probably
Yeah.
know the episode, the
Black
title,
of the
and all that
Berry.
stuff.
Bruh,
Black of the Berry
stop
Part
it.
1,
You
bro.
made that
It's
up.
the network. It's not, bro, because Rob talked about this when he had my man, not DJ, I want to say DJ, but host the video game party. It's a network.
Man,
Yeah.
T about to drop the timestamp on us, bro.
Yeah, I was just saying, bro. But
That's
fast
what's
forward
up,
though.
though. That's what's up, though.
But go ahead, Rob. Fast forward because I know you.
But no, yeah. When you get in these social type of events, man, and to see, and it was a pretty diverse crowd. I would say when I first got there, it was pretty half and half, right? Obviously, as the night goes on, that kind of dwindles to sway one side versus the other. But the amount of people that you meet and understanding what they do, because one of the easiest conversation starters for anybody is, hey, what do you do for a living?
Yep.
Right. And once you start opening that Pandora's box, you start to realize there's some people that do some really cool things that I didn't even know existed, bro. Like that is an amazing talent that is not even a talent, right? It's an amazing thing to do that not, and I'll put myself in that category as well, don't take advantage enough, right? But shout out to Donna for putting that together. This is second annual that I've been to, and
Yep. Part 2.
you get to meet some cool people that do some really cool things, and you never know when paths might cross to do some bigger and better things together,
or be a guest on the show. But Rob, you spot on, man, because it was good to catch up with some familiar faces that I haven't seen since the first one he did. And like Brandon, he actually listens to the show. Like he's like reposted it for us on Instagram. He's on, so definitely shout out to him, man. He's on 704 views. There's a lot of photography, like wedding, super dope. He nice with it. But that dude, man, it was just good to see him. He's like, "Oh, bro, what's good, bro? Like, hey, bro, you got everybody here. Oh, damn, the whole podcast here." So that was kind of cool too. Like, oh, bro, you follow us. You understand what we're doing. You know what I mean? It was good to see the OG Rich. I know, Rod, you was chopping it up with him for a minute. We had that game night. We took that L of one of few. But nonetheless, it was good to see him. He's like, "Man, how you been? I ain't seen you since so and so. How's the family?" So that energy was good. And one thing Don said, I think me and DC was chopping it up with him because we was like, bro, we just love the energy and the environment, man. And he was like, man, I don't want nonsense. I want to be around. I want like-minded people. I want people who are focused, driven, and still growing. But also, I protect my peace. And that was like, bro, 100. 100, bro. Like you can have all these people around, have a nice function, but everybody's on a same wavelength. You might disagree because we were all chatting, having discussions about things. We are disagreeing, but we're all trying to be solution focused to why we disagreed to certain conversations. And so I thought that was just dope, bro. The energy was just there.
Yeah, no, it was real cool, man. And just being around a lot of successful people in their own right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? With nobody bullshitting, with nobody really just sitting around complaining, about how I don't know their life. Yeah, that woe was me shit, because ain't nobody really trying to hear that, And so no, it was cool, bro. It was super dope, man. And it's good to even sit down, man, and just have just some real convos, man. I think sometimes us as men, especially black men, we don't always sit down and just have those real like deep convos beyond the surface, beyond the Michigan beating the shit out of Michigan State, or you know what I'm saying? I had to throw that in there because, bro, that was crazy. Like I'm sitting there talking. I remember we sitting there chit chatting. And I remember Rod and T was watching the game, and I was, talking whatever I was talking, and y'all was watching, and I looked at the screen, where it was like 35-0. I'm like, what are y'all looking at, right? Like the game is over.
Yeah, I said it, bro. I was like, man, we're not turning this off, bro. We're not changing the channel, bro.
Yeah.
That but means something to me.
True, yeah, bro, because you was repping the home team hard last night, bro. You was blued up from the shoes up. You know what I'm saying?
And shout out to Don too. He's a Michigan State grad. He's a Michigan State fan.
Yeah, he took it on the chin, bro.
He had a lot of bourbon to enjoy,
ease that pain,
to ease it. So
yeah, drink his sorrows away because it was never close. It was never really a game. Like I know sometimes rivalry games, the team that's the underdog might step up, but that did not happen. Because like when Oklahoma beat Texas, for example, I think Oklahoma was the underdog for the Red River Classic.
Yeah, the Red River, yeah. That was a good game. Yeah, it wasn't that though, man. But shout out, man. My wife wasn't, same thing. My wife, Michigan State,
yeah.
They didn't even watch the game.
Basketball's focus. Yeah, they didn't even cut it on, but basketball's the focus. If you're a Michigan State fan.
Yeah. That's a fact.
You were saying the deep conversations happen, and I'll let you elaborate on that.
Oh yeah, man, because like that whiskey get in the system. You know how that go, man, and we start having some combos, man, and just talking about bridging the gap. You know what I mean? Like we all have things that we go through, and so many times, you really are the culmination of who you surround yourself with, and now I would say that starts with your spouse, really. You know what I'm saying? You think about it, throughout most of your adult life, you're going to spend most of your time with your spouse. You know what I'm saying? Y'all live together, sleep together, everything, raise your kids together, everything. And if you don't choose right, bro, like your life can really go the wrong direction. You know what I mean? And so I know we kind of spoke a little bit about how our wives have really contributed positively to our lives. You know what I'm saying? I would say both tangibly and intangibly. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, bro, I'll tell you, like this might sound kind of, I guess, dumb or whatever, but one of the things that I knew, two things actually that I knew that my wife was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put a ring on that is that she took me to a Drake show, which like that sounds kind of dumb, but like, bro, I've never had any woman do anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Usually it's like, happy birthday. You can have sex. We can have sex for your birthday. Like, what? We do that all the time. That's not a real gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, hey, look, I got some new underwear. Like, what? Like, that's not, you know what I'm saying? But for her to come
no ties,
like,
no ties.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to actually like get something that costs, because we was on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And granted, it's not all about the money, but it's more so of like, you actually thought that much. You know what
The
I'm saying?
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
bro.
experience,
That
100%.
opened the door of you being bougie. Now we know.
A little bit,
No,
honestly, a little bit,
now we know.
because I would have never done that myself. And after you get that experience, it's like you kind of can't go back. So you're right. Now, if I go to any kind of show, bro, if I can't get if I can't get the kind of seat I want, I'm just not gonna go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going. I don't even want to be a part of it. I'm not being the nose, and that's no diss to anybody who does, but just me personally, I'd rather sit at home than like be in an experience that I'm just not like fully immersed in. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and then just
No,
that vulnerability as well, man. Being able to be vulnerable with your spouse, and even with the homies, man. You know what I'm saying? I think
mhm.
you know I understand you can't open yourself up to everybody because you don't necessarily know people's intentions. And
Mhm.
men, we are pretty heartless. You know what I'm saying? Like we gonna you expose yourself to the wrong person and you might get exposed if that makes sense.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I know we had talked about that a little bit and uh shoot, I kind of just lost my train of thought. My bad. But
No, you're right though. You're right. One of the things that I think is tough for black men in particular is showing those vulnerabilities and being outspoken. Like you always assume that somebody know what you feeling, bro. Like you know what I mean. Like
yeah,
especially when it come from guy to guy. Sometimes when it comes from male to female, but you assume like they know I'm alright. You know what I mean? They know where we stand, and you
right.
don't really verbalize it as much. Shout out to T because he's probably the most Ralph Tresvant out of the three of us, and
Dang.
man, that's a good quality. Nah, I'm not, not even a shot,
I
bro.
call you out trash, man.
Not
No.
even a straight. He had the song though. The man with a little sensitivity, man. And that's cool,
Yeah,
bro. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I knew
That's
you was
cool.
going.
Yeah, yeah. You more than Ralph Tresvant, bro. And I respect that. You know what I mean? Like because I'm not that per se. You know what I mean? I'm getting better. I'm working on myself. But when you have somebody that can openly talk about their feelings and how things are doing, like that's a gift, bro. Like
It is.
especially like I said, I'll reiterate it, especially for black men. You know what I mean? And me, like y'all already know, I'm from the hood, and I hate to even continuously say that because y'all already know, but it's the truth, bro. And we built a certain way. Like
Yeah,
you
Hmm.
it's a
can't
callus.
you can't show vulnerability, or it could be the difference of you living and not. You know what I mean? So that's heavily ingrained, and I don't even know if it should have been that way, right? It's just the environment you grow up in. You think that it is that way. You know what I mean? So it
Hmm.
makes it a little tough. And I will say with my wife, she
Mm.
constantly try to get me to open up and put me in positions to not only experience different things, but to grow as an individual. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
just me and Donald alone, bro. Like you know what? Even further than that, moving here alone is something that I would have never done. Right? If it was just me
Hmm.
and I was by myself, no ties to anybody, and they said, "Yo, you want to move to North Carolina from Detroit?" F you, hell no, I'm never leaving Detroit. You crazy,
Hmm.
right? But because I have a spouse that one was kind of tired of Detroit, and two
Same.
wanted to experience different things and understood that there's a whole nother world out there. Like when I brought that up to her, she's like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it." And I'm like, "No, that's not what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to be like, oh yeah, that's a good opportunity, but no, I'm good here."
Hmm.
But if we never moved here, we never meet DC. We never have a podcast that's like very cohesive. We never meet Donald. We never
Hmm.
get to experience the different types of bourbon that no one ever knew existed, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of that is attributed to my spouse, and I'll say it on here verbally, man. I love my wife. I appreciate her for the experiences, and vice versa. I try to give her those experiences as well to help her level herself up. And I think that's where you were going with it is iron sharpens iron. And when you can find people, not even just like a spouse, but even like homies that can help you experience different things and push you out your comfort zone, that is a recipe for success and growth, man. And that's really what you should be looking for when you surround yourself with individuals, is people that's going to not only benefit be a benefit to you but can also benefit from you, right? And that's considered a relationship, in my opinion.
Facts.
Oh,
Big
yeah, bro.
facts.
It's kind of funny you say that. It's hearing you say that trickle down effect, bro. Because I remember when you first came down here, bro. We chopped it up, and I was like, man, Rod don't talk to nobody. He ain't talk to nobody, and it's kind of cool, like you said, bro. Like our wives are thick as thieves, my opinion. You know what I mean? And it's just that good energy, bro. That good energy, man, and not even energy. I'm gonna say synergy. Regarding like leveling one up, honest feedback, to help grow like from all of us, man. And then, like I said, just podcast, man. Like a lot of things come to fruition out of things, man. When you may not see the vision, but sometimes it's your partner that sees it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's not like the blind leading the blind, but it's like, yo, we're gonna step into this unknown together. But there's endless opportunities in this unknown. We just need to step in it together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was something. My same thing. I was like, hey, I got this opportunity, and she was like, yeah. How much is it gonna cost us? I'm like, nothing. We just got packed. We just got a pack. And so she was all for it. Same thing. She was born and raised there. That's all she knew. But she wanted to get outside the walls of the state. That was a big goal of hers. So it was the same thing. She was like, yeah, I'm gonna seize this. Let's seize this opportunity. Let's seize the opportunity.
So, question: Why do you think? Why was it so important to y'all that y'all leave Detroit specifically?
For me to get back south, that was always the main goal. And then, but for my wife, it was. I still remember this to this day. It was one of the first things she ever said when on our first date. I was like, "What's a goal of yours?" She was like, "I don't want to leave the city. I want to get out of the state. It's a goal of mine. I want to see what else is out here. Not visiting, like traveling, vacation. Like I want to live somewhere else,
right?
Experience that." And so, first date, bro, first date, ever date.
Damn.
So you fast forward a few years later, and I'm like, "Hey, I got this opportunity. Like, what you think?" She was like, all right, well, what's it going to cost? What it look like? What's this? What's that? All right, let's get those answers to those questions.
Yeah. You know, they say like most successful people, they have to leave their hometown to experience that success. Because a lot of the times when you grew up in a certain place, people might view you a certain kind of way. And almost kind of put you in a box and won't let you out. And you kind of have to leave your comfort zone and whatnot and meet, like to y'all's point, new people, different people. Because really, when you move, you of course you are who you are to the core, but you know, the new people like me, like I just met Rod a couple years ago. You know, I don't know anything about your experience in Detroit beyond what you tell me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna put you in a box because I don't even know what box that would be. You know what I'm saying? And so you come down here and hopefully, you know, experience that success and whatnot. But that's usually how it goes. It's actually pretty rare that somebody like makes it in their hometown. They almost always have to leave to be successful, man. And but it's scary though, because a lot of it's kind of scary to leave your comfort zone, right? For most people. And that people
there it is right
stay.
there.
Yeah, most people will stay, you know, wherever they went to high school. Like if you ever think about like how many times people, hey, where you go to high school? That's because it's like the reason that question is always so common, correct, is because it's like, what high school did you go to? Because I'm trying to figure out what box you're supposed to be in. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just high school for most people is like the pinnacle of like their being, their character. You know what defines them.
Or
you know what I mean? And you kind of have to leave town to get away from. Bro, I don't know what high school Rod went to. It doesn't really matter to me.
But it's funny you say that though, because we've had guests, a few guests from Detroit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the common thing that I've heard with Rod? Yo, what side you from?
West side, yeah. Yep.
What
West
side
side,
you
east
from?
side.
What side? And that's true though.
That's
It's funny
true.
you say that, bro. It's an invisible box in
Mm-hmm.
conversation. You don't even. I guess you know it. You putting somebody in a box, or you probably just unintentionally knowing it. Be like, yeah, you from the east side, so this is more than likely how you move. You're from the west side. This is more than likely how you move.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the reason for the move plays a part of the success too, right? Because like for me, yeah, the move itself was semi-lateral, right? I'm doing the same thing. Well, I was doing the same thing that I was doing in Detroit. However, the move afforded me to make a little bit more while doing the same thing. And then it opened doors in other avenues that I got to experience even more income gain from it and meet again new people and understand different parts of the business. So, for me, it was not only a comfort thing that I had to get over, it was also a fear thing, right? Like a
Mm-hmm.
fear of like what if this don't work out? Like, do I have to move back? Do I have to go to
Yeah,
another job? So, you factor that stuff in and it makes it hard for people to get out that comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, the most important thing when we start discussing relocating, um, once you get the blessing from the family to be like, yo, why would you stay here? That kind of help ease it. Like, man, maybe I need to rethink this. But the other piece is I had to not live for myself. And I think having a wife and at the time a 2-year old, although it's a difficult decision to move somebody when they're two, but I'm like, if there's going to be any time to uproot somebody, it's when they're young enough to not really remember where they were, right? I
Right.
wouldn't want to do that when they were in high school or, when they're established and they understand where they are. It's like if we're going to
right.
try a new place, let's do it while they're young and see how it go. And
I
once we actually came down here though and understood what the school systems allowed and for us it's a better opportunity, bro. Like for my children to grow up, even though they suburban kids and I need them to have that hood experience because sometimes they drive me nuts with the ungratefulness.
the
At
privilege,
the
the
Yeah,
privilege.
but at the
Yeah,
same time, the opportunity that they're being afforded educationally, and even environmentally, right, is I can't put a ticket on that or a number on that. The
hmm
value is so significant that I can't think about myself. I have to think about now it's two of them, their upbringing and like what are the odds of their opportunities for success. Yeah, you can come out of Detroit or the Metro Detroit area because we weren't in Detroit, but the Metro Detroit area and still have quote unquote success, but I'm an odds guy too. Like, what are the odds
Mm.
of them getting that success here versus in a place like this, especially knowing like in Charlotte, Atlanta, I think DC, I think DC was up there, was like in the top 5 of striving income or business aspects for black people. You know what I mean? That opportunity
Mm.
is I can't put a value on them having that close of a connection to be in a place where it's striving. And who knows what it'd be years from now. But again, playing the odds, their odds are highly favored here versus where they would have been when if I was living in Michigan.
for sure.
Thanks.
That's dope. I know one thing you said. You was like, hey, if I'm, definitely uprooting, saying dollar sign at a young age, even moving at an older age, I don't think it's as bad. And I'm only speaking in DC probably too. I mean, being an army brat, you just
Mm-hmm.
move. So you kind of ain't ain't got the choice, right? You just kind of gotta move with the parents, or just gotta make these
Mhm.
transitions. But I think it was hindsight looking back, right? Because you always gotta look back. It's like, man, it was the best experience ever. Even though I hated it, because like you said, you do have to start over. New school, new friends, and all that. But that prepared me to understand different dynamics, especially race for me. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? You surround like I was going to school around so many black people, bro. Like that was the norm, right? In our
Mm-hmm.
communities, right? Then living overseas, I was meeting people from all walks of life. Kind of opened my eyes, like, oh, it ain't just it ain't just the Montgomerys, the Detroits, the Fort Hoods of the world. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh, you think the same thing, but you just took a whole nother road to get there. Like, I didn't even knew that road existed. So for me, that helped me. It's probably part of why, like you said, like that mayor, I can speak to anybody because literally I had an opportunity to speak to anybody from different walks of life. So I think even at age 2 versus age 12 or 15, I think there's always opportunities to seize and grow from that and thrive, to what you were saying, right? You find these areas with the odds, right, to thrive, man. And yes, unfortunately, our kids, not let me delete the word unfortunately, but yes, our kids may not understand or see some of the things that we dealt with as kids in not so great neighborhoods. But that was what we wanted. We didn't want them to go through that or see those things. The I guess the Achilles is the privilege part. And so, we just have to remind them of, like, hey, this is given to us, but understand, like, the value of it. Cause that's where we at. Like, no, I mean, and that's part of growth. Our kids ain't gonna understand the value of it. We just have to continue to echo that and teach it, and sometimes remove things to let them know there's a value to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They say there's 3 stages of fatherhood, specifically from boys to men. You got 3 stages. So you've got the adoration stage, where this is generally when you're a younger boy. When you adore your father, he can do no wrong. He's like a superhero to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a little bit older, maybe teenage, maybe early 20s. Everybody's a little bit different. But then you go to the demonization phase. You demonize your father, and what I mean is, like, maybe you blame him for the things that don't go right in your life, or
Mm-hmm.
you realize that you kind of, maybe you realize that your father is not a superhuman; he's a human being, and you kind of take him off that pedestal to the extreme, and, like I said, demonize. And then you have the humanization stage, where you kind of grow up and you understand, like, what life really is. And then you
Mm-hmm.
look at your father, it's like, you know what,
He was
my
right.
dad wasn't perfect necessarily, but he was trying to figure it out just like I am. And I made mistakes and he made mistakes, but you can't, you don't demonize a man for not being perfect, and you go to that humanization. And so I say that to say this, the whole privilege thing. I think privilege is a good thing, to be honest
Mm-hmm.
with you.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no
I
doubt.
think it's a
You
good
gotta
thing.
take
I
advantage of
think,
them.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I think that I definitely understand the mentality of I guess survive at all costs, that you kind of come from, that you get from living maybe in like low income, or those types of circumstances. But at
Mm.
the same time, um, you know, Rod, where would Rod be if if he had the head start that his boys are now getting,
Mm-hmm.
and that where T's girls are now getting, and my daughter is now getting, like, what I'm saying, she's about to graduate, and thankfully she won't have any student debt. What I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because I was able to provide that. I came out of college with a good bit of student debt,
Mm-hmm.
and so now,
Bruh.
yeah, and so now, but not a whole lot, because my parents actually did help me out a lot as well. But still, like, some of the challenges and struggles that I went through early on, she won't even
Mm-hmm.
know. What I'm saying? Now she's kind of spoiled. What I'm saying? She's not spoiled rotten, but she is a little bit spoiled. But at the same time, now my hope is that she's going to have a higher bar, a higher standard for what's
Mm-hmm.
acceptable and what's unacceptable.
That word standard.
Yeah. So, that's what it's about, man. It's just about
Yeah.
doing the best you can, and pass it on to the next generation. Like, I be
Yep.
telling her, like, you can't do nothing for. She's like, I'm gonna pay you back one day. The way you pay me back is being successful.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Don't go to school and then, like, I don't know, go flip burgers or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, go, be the best version of yourself. That's how you pay me back. You
Mm-hmm.
can't, there's no check you can cut me. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what it's about, man. And again, it all comes down to who you choose to procreate with, you know what I'm saying? Who you choose to live with and your spouse and whatnot. You know, it really starts from there. You know what I'm saying? All of that. And even like we was talking about talking amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? That, bro, none of this happens if I don't get with my spouse. That none of, you know what I'm saying? That none of that happens, bro. We don't link up. Rod, I don't meet Rod if it ain't for Sylvia. I already knew T, but who knows? I might not have ever seen him again. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for his wife. You know what I'm saying? Because we knew each other 20 years ago. But
that's fact.
I mean, who's to say that you would come down here?
Yeah,
One, that
like
you would come down here and come to this area. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Everything comes full circle. It's just who you choose to spend your life with. You know what I'm saying? That really kicks off everything.
Yeah, man.
You know,
if she can bear it all for you and you can bear it all for her, that's the right person. Butt naked, bro.
I'm gonna tell you, man. Like, yo, you learn a lot about a person, and that's anybody, bro. Think about it. Like, obviously, you know, men and women, we all got kids. We know how that works. But like, even pause amongst the homies, man. Like, bro, think about we play football, basketball. I wrestled as well in high school. You know, you shower and whatnot, but you get tight with your teammates. You know what I'm saying? And part of it is like you in the locker room, that locker room culture, and doing, you know, snapping each other with towels and whatnot. But you're really bearing all. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Even with your homies, and that actually establishes bonds, man. Because if you think about it, man, when you like, I'm not saying we ain't sitting around staring at each other. I just want to be clear, you know, to the listeners and people who may not understand the locker room culture. But when you are in those situations, man, it's just, you know, obviously you're going to war with your teammate, but you're also seeing your teammate at kind of their most vulnerable, even if you're not necessarily thinking about it that way, but that really is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So you end up having teammates, people you hooped with, people you play football with, and shoot, Rod, you probably got some that you haven't seen, but if they picked up the phone and called, y'all gonna chop it up like no time has passed.
For sure.
That you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's been tears, bro. You know what I mean? I know. Well, when I was living in Germany, man, one of our guys lost his mom during the season.
Yeah, damn.
You know what I mean? That you want to talk about vulnerable? You know what I'm saying? Like, we all in the locker room, bro, and we get the news.
Yeah.
Like, he gets that news then, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he gets that news because the head coach heard about it, but he waited till practice was over.
Damn.
You see what I'm saying? And like, I'll never forget that moment. You know what I mean? But it made us closer though, because we was like, bro, if we ain't gonna do it right, we gonna do it for him.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's gone, bro, and he was, you know, a starter on our team, and it was like, oh, we gonna do it for him. If anything, you know what I mean? We got to ride for him because he's gonna be gone for a few weeks, and it doesn't matter like we lose or whatever the case may be. I mean, those things matter, but at the end of the day, like, bro, if we ain't running these sprints, we ain't doing these drills, bro. We just half-assing it, bro. Like, what we doing it for? Because, like, that's our dog, bro. You know what I'm saying? He got to fly back to the U.S. to bury his mom, bro. And we seen his mom. She's been to practices. You know what I mean? You like, yo, we seen her, bro. We that's like, we felt like we all lost it. You know what I mean? So that you get tight like that too, that vulnerability, bro. Like, you understand it, like, yo. We gotta. So I'm with you on that though, man, because you do bear it all, man. When there's things that's going on like that, man. You know what I mean? You really do.
Yeah, shout out to our spouses and our closest friends.
Yeah, all day.
Our spouses has probably seen us in our worst days and vice versa, right? We've seen them in they worst days that nobody else would ever know or see. You know what I mean? So
we got to pick each other up. We got to pull each other up, and we you know, continue to do that job and a good job at it. So for sure, man, I'm with it. You know, maybe we'll have him back on the show. That was a fun one as well.
Yeah, my wife really liked it. It's crazy because leading up to that episode, she did not want to do it. Like I really kind of,
Neither
she
did
really kind of
mine.
came like kicking and screaming. You know what I'm saying? So to speak.
Yeah, my wife did
And
not want to do it. She's like, I don't like my voice. I don't like this. Oh man, I'm like, it's gonna be fun. It was one of the funnest episodes.
yeah, and after the fact, she loved it. She's like, "Oh, I could do this and da da da," and I think I did. And she like listened to the episode like multiple times. She was talking to me about it like she's like, "I feel like I should have did this better, and maybe next time I'll do that." And ooh, and I'm like, "Okay,
welcome to the Get Right podcast."
I mean,
not taking over my show. You better start your own show.
And we'll love to bring them back at any point they want to jump, because obviously they are the nucleus of all us. So it's always good to have those conversations. Probably our biggest supporters. So
absolutely,
shout out.
Speaking of that, man, I'm gonna segue. Shout out to our wives. Shy, I love you. Speaking of biggest supporters, bro, DC. Few episodes back, I said me and Rod. I don't felt it, man, because the government, that system is a little weird. And I was like, Trump gonna run it back. And he was like, it ain't happening, bro. He got over 90 charges, bro. It ain't happening. I say the biggest supporters, the segue, two of them that was in that room before that, the storming of the Capitol, took them plea deals, bro. They gonna be testifying against them. Now I'm gonna say he done. Bro.
Yeah, I think like three of his codees flipped on him.
When you were in the room and you was in the room with him, and they sharing stuff that pretty accurate to conversations that's in there now. One of them being a lawyer, that was tough. Yeah, that's tough. I was like, oh, they got him. They got him now, bro. I don't think he's going to jail though. I don't think so.
No, I don't see him going to prison or anything like that.
It's gonna be he not gonna be able to run it back. He ain't gonna be able to run it back. Not off that.
Not at all. Bro, and the thing again, like I think too many people kind of like look at his base and say, "Oh man, his base is so strong." But bro, not all of America is his base. When you go to the general election, like people who go to his rallies may not care about the charges, but a lot of other people will. And when you got these co-defendants flipping, I mean, it's like Boosie said it. When YSL got their RICO, like you put a bunch of eggs in a box and you start shaking that box, some of them eggs gonna crack. It's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? You can't have 19 co-defendants and nobody flip. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like there's somebody who doesn't want to be there. You know what I mean? There's somebody who and then on top of that, you look at how Trump has treated people in the past. Like he's had a number of his cohorts go to prison behind working with him, and he throws all of them under the bus publicly. Like now you arrested and you talking to the Georgia interrogator, and you if you're a good interrogator, matter of fact, old boy is an interrogator. The dude who's having at the bourbon thing. He was an interrogator for 18 years for the military. Yeah, and now he's like an engineer or something. He did a complete 180. But I'm sure he will vouch, bro. If you in the interrogation room, you're reminding these codees, like, bro, Trump threw this dude under the bus, this woman under the bus. He threw everybody under the bus that he could. You don't think he's gonna do the same to you? Go ahead, sign this plea deal. And that's exactly what happened. You're gonna see more. You're gonna see more people flip. It's gonna be so many that.
Yeah, his lawyer, she only getting 6 months. But she ain't been doing prison time. It's just 6 months. 6 month probation, bro.
Yeah,
they took 7 years off the table. 7 years of fed time off the table. I was like, geez. She was like, yeah, I ain't doing that. I'm like, what you want to know, man? I'm done. And you're right. You say you shaking that box, and it could be mentally. I've never been in it, so I don't understand it. But I'm just assuming this could be mentally draining every single day, or every other day. You got to go talk to somebody over and over and over again, bro. Like you got to answer for all these things. It's kind of like, bro. You know, that's just what it is, man. So.
Yeah, at the end of the day, all it is the powers that be, they just don't want him to be president again. I don't think really anybody wants him to go to prison. I would like to see him go to prison personally, but as in like the powers that be, they just don't want another 4 years. They don't want to see what happened from 2016 to 2020. They just don't want to see that again.
Yeah, I mean, even if
You
he
know what I'm
would
saying?
go, bro, he gonna be like probably one of the most coziest places, bro. He might be like Martha Stewart, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't like
Yeah.
ain't like he in the county, bro. He in the state, boy. Like it wouldn't
Yeah.
even matter if he went anyway, man. I don't think he going, but it wouldn't even matter.
Nah, I don't see any judge sending a former president to prison. It's just, even if he deserves it, it's just
Yeah,
a
it don't
bad
happen.
look. It's just a bad look, unless he did something like committed murder or something crazy, you know. But or found guilty of murder, because I believe all presidents murder somebody. But personally, I mean, it's just too much power, you know, to not off somebody. You know, speaking of offing people,
Damn.
y'all know Keefe D. You know, basically it came out, you know, he killed Pac and everything, and that's kind of been in the headlines. But now there's this new, I guess, conspiracy or something that Diddy was supposed to pay him $1 million
Mm-hmm.
to off Tupac. And I'm just gonna say that's about the most ridiculous thing
All
I
of it
have ever
is,
heard.
bro. I'm just over it, bro. Like when I
I
saw
mean,
that, I was like, okay, cool, great, cool story, bro.
I honestly, I like the fact that the what people have already known for decades is officially come to light. You know what I'm saying? And actually, Tupac's family came out and they said they're happy as well. But the whole notion that Diddy would pay $1 million, bro. Do y'all know how much money $1 million is? Do you really think Tupac was worth $1 million? To like, you, you could get that man off for less than $1 million. Like that's just ridiculous that somebody
Mm-hmm.
would think that you would put that kind of price on that man's head. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave Diddy out of it, bro. Like, I'm pretty sure like he was frustrated with Pac at the time, you know, with the whole beef or whatever. But $1 million on his head, come on, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I just make it
Hey,
make
man,
sense.
Seems
everybody got a
far-fetched.
price, but yeah, it does vary. But
And we're talking 90s $1 million. We're not talking 2023 $1 million. So like in the 90s, $1 million was probably really like 1.8 million, like in today's money, you know, or more. It's ridiculous, bro. Stop it.
Yeah, and the
Stop it.
reality is like literally Pac and Suge and them just stumped like they crew out. Like how would Puff even get to a point to where he's paying them like that whole thing just don't make sense. It don't add up. The math don't
Right.
math on that scenario.
math ain't
Yeah.
mathing, bro.
Nah.
Yeah. This is the thing, man. Everybody loves Pac and whatnot, but the reality is I hate to say it, but the way that his life ended was probably bound to happen at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean is, I don't know if y'all heard the story where Snoop actually told the story where Death Row and them, they were in New York at some club, and Tupac ran into Nas. You know, Pac dissed Nas,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, Nas was saying that, hey, the beef was squashed, but Pac never said that because he got killed like right after the meeting or whatever. And Nas kind of got clowned for it because, of course, there was only one side of the story. But then Snoop came out
Oh
and said,
yeah,
no,
Snoop cleared that all up,
yeah, he
bro.
cleared it up. He's like, no, it was squashed. And he said, I'm going to tell you, Pac used to run around thinking
He
nobody can
punking
mess with us.
everybody.
We gangsters, we gangsters. But Snoop was like, bro, I'm a gangster. And I can tell you gangsters are everywhere. Like, it ain't just it ain't just LA. Like, everybody got guns. Everybody ready to risk it all. And apparently Pac was talking crazy to Nas, and Pac did not realize Nas was like 50 or 100 deep, according to Snoop. And they all had like their hands inside they jacket when Pac was talking crazy, and Nas essentially chilled it all out, and Pac didn't even realize it. And Snoop was like, "Yo, we about to get killed right here and now because Pac is talking crazy." And because he said he actually thanked Nas for being such a peaceful dude because his homies was ready to up it for him. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, that's what I mean. Like, bro, like, love Pac, man, love what he stood for. He was a revolutionary. There's a reason why he's still mentioned in the annals of hip hop, even to this day, 30 years later. But unfortunately, like, he also had some antics that was, I mean, it was bound to get him killed, which
Yeah.
unfortunately it did.
I mean, he said the famous line, man. He said anybody can get touched.
Yeah.
He said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you know, R.I.P. Pac, man. And I am glad that, you know, his family can officially kind of close the door And
Yeah.
shout out to Keefy D for being an idiot.
Yeah, I mean the reason
why are you still talking about this?
Yeah, my thing is the reason why I was like, cool story, bro. It's a simple fact that like, man, people knew this all along to what you said.
Yeah.
Like,
But
this,
a lot of
this was
people
long
come up
overdue.
with crazy conspiracies that Pac is really in Cuba. He's not really dead. He faked his death. That Suge Knight set it up, even though Suge Knight was in the car. Like, what kind of idiot sets up somebody to get shot while they're in the car?
Right, Suge got shot in the head, bro. Like, I don't think you gonna put your life at risk to get him killed. You know what I mean?
Right. So even though you could say that a lot of people knew, there were still a lot of crazy conspiracies out there that can finally officially be put to rest 30 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 30 years later.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Man, oh man, bro. So I know we about to sit it down for a little bit, man. We recapping, talking some great conversations always, bro. Man, what? We even hit on it a little bit, man. Our wives joining the show as we wrapping up season 4, man. What was fun for you, man? I'll start first. The funniest thing I heard. 2 funny things, because I'm gonna still stand on it. DC, Tony Romo and Dak Prescott are the same. That was a nice heated argument. But the funniest thing, we had our wives on the show, and DC, I was like, Rod, gets through stress, man. Sometimes, he'll punch a hole in the wall. And DC said, was that wall named Sylvia? And then he said, hey, when I said that in my head, that's not how it's supposed to came out.
I kind of forgot about that one.
Bro, that was one of the funniest joints ever, man. For me, man. Man, it had me dying, bro.
Yeah. Sometimes I just be saying stuff. I gotta slow down.
That was one of the funniest, man, for me, man. A highlight, man. It was a good laugh, man, and just and then and Christy, having that conversation with Christy J, the community, that was really insightful. Rod made a statement, and she said, "Hey, I'll come to the show and respond to it," and it was a good dialogue. Those were something that I really enjoyed, man. But like, what about y'all, man? How was y'all feeling, man, about this, man? What was something that
I'll say probably one of my favorite episodes was what old boy who worshiped Biggie. I'm
shout out Danny.
Yeah. I thought that was probably one of my favorites, because you know me, anytime we have an episode that like focuses on music, that's probably going to be one of my favorite episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely the music. I think well, I don't know if I'm the music head, but I like to think maybe I'm like, I just love it. I could talk about it all day and all night. So that was definitely probably one of my favorite episodes, to talk to somebody who I could tell he was a pretty big hip hop head as well, even though we were on different sides of the spectrum. And that was probably one of my favorite episodes.
For sure. What about you, Rod?
Wives were cool. That was dope. I think obviously the Danny joint was dope. I mean, they all were dope, bro. Like it's hard to pinpoint one moment, but for sure, I think talking Nelly versus Jay-Z was definitely memorable. Yeah.
I ain't gonna share the text chain like Kanye, man, but DZ would not let this Nelly thing go for about 2 weeks.
Right. And Stacks. And Stacks. I'm still not letting that go. 3 Stacks being top 5. I know
he's not.
The argument
is based off lyrics only.
Yes, he should be omitted because he was a part of a group.
Correct.
But I will continue to trump for Stacks. Top 5 all time. I'm not letting it go, bro.
Man, you can trump all you want for Stacks, man.
Nothing ever dies.
You know what happened to Trump, bro. So you can trump all you want for Stacks, bro. Like, it's okay, bro. He's on the list, bro. He's first in greatest group of all time. So it's okay, bro. It's
every
okay.
rapper. I don't know any rapper that don't put this man in their top 5. I don't know any. But y'all
based off lyrics only, yes, he's there, top 5.
False, bro. I've sent y'all that video evidence. It's not just the lyricism. Luda, I think the last one I sent was Luda.
Okay.
He called that man a rapper's rapper. He didn't call him a lyricist. a rapper's rapper, bro.
For sure.
Top five all time, bro. Top five.
You know who else is a rapper's rapper? Black Thought. And he's not top 5. He's in a group, bro. Like, he's a rapper's rapper too.
He is, but I don't really hear
don't say
anybody
but.
talk
Don't say
about.
but, 'cause you
no,
negate-
because
you
I don't hear
negating
anybody
what
talking
you
about putting him in
agree
their
to.
top five. Every example I've given and the stuff that I sent is people putting, hey, Andre's in my top 5. I don't really hear people put Black Thought in their top 5 because he can rap, but who's how many as far as the masses are putting Black Thought in the top 5? I mean,
More,
top 5 lyricists,
yeah.
but top 5
But
rapper.
that's what we're saying, though. You know what I mean? But
He's
I'm not.
there as a lyricist, but
don't even
everything overall body of work.
You're not
Everything.
gonna win this battle, bro. Just
Nah, man. It's just
let him
speaking
live
to
in
the
his.
wind. I'm
Let him,
speaking to the
let him
wind.
live in his truth, bro. Andre
The
3
truth,
Sacks.
not my truth. I'm living in
Andre
the
3 Sacks for president, bro.
I'll vote for him. If that was the case, though, I would do that.
You vote for him as a top 5 rapper all time as well.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Carry on, bro. Carry on, bro. Man. Duh, man. Hey, man, season 4 finale, man. We definitely gonna keep on sharpening. Iron sharpens iron, man. We're gonna get better, man. Definitely looking at some great things, man. And for season 5, and have some people pull up. Before we go, Rod, as always, man. How make the people feel great. What words of encouragement you got for not just the folks who listen to shit, for us? Yeah, we might need it too.
Since we talking about being vulnerable, vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's our greatest measure of courage.
That is true. That's very true. Yeah. It's a measure of courage. That's a fact. Big bars.
I love that, bro.
Oh, last thing I'll say is Doja Cat dropped the Fire album. Let me just say that.
Really?
Before we end the year.
I believe it. I believe it. She has not, the singles I've heard from her since she's been out.
Oh, that Walk On By is hard.
They have not been trash at all. So
yeah.
She on some demon stuff right now, so I can't really.
I don't know. Say she out here wilding though.
Yeah,
she wild.
So that paint the town red go hard. I saw the video though, and I was like, yeah, you wilding, bro. But the song do go hard, bro. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, she is wilding right now though.
But I will say this about the demons. I know at face value it seems crazy, but it's actually not really demonic. It's more so about like battling with your demons. You know what I'm saying? Like to exercise them out of you. It's not so much. So but I understand the art and the shock value is what she's going for. But like when you actually like listen, or if you're like reading the bars as like on Apple Music, and like it's not really her equating herself to a demon. It's more of exercising them. You know what I'm saying? But that shock value is, she's trying to get people's attention.
And then the stuff she's doing on social media. She was taking pictures with some people.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't really know anything about Doja Cat.
So that was the most recent stuff.
Dropped.
She had some post some pictures with a graphic tee, but it was like people from very anti-Semitic. And even her fans were like, why are you wearing a t-shirt with that dude on it? And so what she did, she deleted it, and then she reposted the picture and she photoshopped it and just made it blank, but you can still see parts of it. And people was like, for real? Like, what you owe, man?
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, she kind of wild a little bit. Like,
okay. That is a little wild.
And it's not the first, though. This is not the first.
I didn't even know that. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, this is not the first, bro. She a couple years ago, she was like on a group chat. On an anti-Semitic group chat, and talking about like, and they dropping the N-words, all that other stuff, and she was just in there like laughing and thumbsing it up. So she took flat from the community on that. I'm gonna say the black community, where they was like, oh,
shout out to her album if it's fire, bro.
But she be dropping some stuff though.
Yeah. Yeah, and she can spit. Like she can legit.
Yeah.
She can go.
I don't know if she writing there or not, but it's packaged.
For sure.
It's packaged though. And we said it. The women taking over the thing. I threw her name out there.
Okay.
You know? But I think Cardi though, living off that one album, and that's no shade. But I might listen to that album though. I'm gonna see, you know, because she do got some singles on there.
Yeah.
It's going crazy. But
No, it's fine.
all that, man, we'll be back. You know, happy Halloween for everybody listening, man. Make sure the kids get candy. Don't eat it all at once. You know what I'm saying? And parents, make sure you make your kids pay your taxes on that candy, because I am. I'm getting some of everything. You know what I'm saying? But you know, as Rod always open up with those 3 words, you know, I like to do it, bro.